There are games that you enjoy for a weekend. There are games that you sink hundreds of hours into. And then there are games that somehow became a distinct chapter of your life. For me, that game is Valheim. I've played nearly 300 hours of it. Not because it has the biggest open world or the most realistic graphics, or because it's the most brutal survival game on the market. I played because somehow everything in this game came together perfectly. Valheim is a masterclass in atmosphere. It understands something that most modern, bloated games forget. It knows how to let the world breathe. And because the world breathes, you find yourself breathing with it. I still remember my first few days. Every pine tree in the Black Forest felt completely massive. Every troll encounter felt like an impossible boss fight. Finding a new biome wasn't just a checklist item, it was genuinely intimidating. Valheim doesn't hand you a minimap cluttered with icons or make you a chosen superhero. You're just another forgotten Viking trying to survive. And because the world feels so indifferent to your existence, every single victory feels entirely earned. What makes it truly magical is the contrast. It balances absolute peace with sudden terrifying tension. One minute you are watching a low-poly sunrise burn through the thick mist, listening to the wind rustle through the trees. The next, you are standing on a deck of a longship, staring into a massive pitch-black ocean storm as it carries you toward an unknown island. The soundtrack is brilliant because it knows exactly when to stay quiet, letting the crackle of your campfire or the soft roll of the waves do the talking. It's a world that feels peaceful, almost therapeutic. It gives you the space to create your own stories. But the reason Valheim became so deeply special to me wasn't just because of the game itself. It was because of who I shared it with. A close friend of mine introduced me to it. At first, it was just another co-op game we figured we'd try it out, but suddenly, it became our daily ritual. We built sprawling villages, sailed across uncharted oceans, and that in the dumbest ways imaginable. We would spend 3 real-world hours preparing for a boss fight, only to completely panic the exact second the boss actually spawned. Around that time, our cat had kittens, and we decided to give one of them to him. He let me name that little guy, so I called him Odin. It just felt right. Now, every single time I think of Valheim, I think of Odin. It's funny how digital worlds bleed into real life, in ways you never see coming. Right now, the game is getting closer to its official 1.0 release. The Deep North is finally on the horizon. After years of updates, the journey is almost complete. Part of me is incredibly excited. I've imagined what the final frozen biome would look like countless times, and I know so many players are getting ready to log back in. And honestly, I wish I could be one of them, but here's the part I didn't expect. I can't go back. Not because Valheim changed, but because my life did. The friend who introduced me to this world isn't part of my life anymore. Nothing dramatic happened. No huge fight, no tragedy. Our paths simply went different directions. Sometimes that's just how life goes. When I tell people this, they often say, it's just a game, just log in and play. But it's not that simple. Sometimes a game becomes so deeply tethered to a specific person and a specific era of your life that booting up feels like opening an old photo album. Everything in the photo is still beautiful, nothing technically wrong with the picture, but it forces you to look at a version of your life that simply doesn't exist anymore. Whenever I hear Valheim's music now, I don't just hear a video game soundtrack. I hear our old conversations. I hear the late night adventures, the laughter over voice chat, all those sailing trips ended up talking about real life way more than the game itself. That's what I remember, and that's what makes clicking play so difficult. Maybe one day I'll return. Maybe I'll step onto those familiar meadows one more time, build another longhouse, tame another wolf, and finally sail into the deep north. I genuinely hope I do so. Because Valheim deserves to be remembered for everything it gave me, not for what was lost. If you've ever had a game that you can't decouple from a specific person, then you probably know exactly what I mean. In the end, our favorite games aren't really about the digital worlds they create. They're about the people who shared those worlds with us. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing about gaming. Thank you for watching.